Hello, welcome to my channel. Tony's LPs Are Us. As the title page indicates, today I'm going to do a blue shootout and a little review of the new Mobile Fidelity one-step that came out a few weeks ago. This is a relatively low number. There's going to be 12,000 pressed, so it should be available for a while. The early one-steps were 4,000, maybe 2,000, 5,000. Now they're, 12,000, and some of them are even more. The one step for Thriller, I believe, was 40,000. So they'll be around for quite a while. But this is the one step. Have it taken it out of its slip cover, and I actually unboxed that myself. And there's the disc 1, and there's disc 2, and it comes with a replica of the original jacket, which you see here, which I'm going to talk about. And it comes with a little sheet of an essay, and I believe this essay, most of it's on the MoFi website. You could read about it. It just goes into, the intimacy of this recording, Joni's outpouring of love's lost, basically, and it also gives you a nice look into who recorded, who covered songs from Blue. Quite a bit of artists covered songs from Blue, including Prince, the Supremes, Natalie Merchant. Goes on and on and on. So a lot of folks, I didn't think this album was covered that often, but apparently it was. So it comes with that. And I'll just show you, one of the LPs. It comes with a slipcase, and this is supposed to, I believe, reduce any seam splits. But in this case, it didn't happen. I'm going to show you what happened in transit. But here's the record. Right there. It was this record originally, the original this as well. It clocks in at about 36 minutes and 12 seconds or so. So as you can imagine, split over 4 sides, you're going to be getting up quite often. Every 7 minutes or so, you'll be getting up. Every 8 minutes or so, you'll be getting up. Now, unfortunately, this record did come with a few splits, as you can see right there. Not on the spine, which is okay, but here, it's not too bad, and they're really packed in tight. You really have to pull them out. And I think any tap on the slip cover or just in transit, moving back and forth, this occurred. That's how it was when we opened the record. And I left the shrink on. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the record. I just want to put this safely to the side. By the way, this record has been lent to me by my good friend Don, audiophile record collector. He also lent me to do a shootout, a Rhino pressing that he has and a first pressing that he has. I also have an early pressing. I believe his pressing is a first pressing. I probably have a subsequent pressing of Blue. I have one. I believe, as far as I know, I had only one original Blue in my collection. Okay. Now, this record is Joni Mitchell's 4th LP, a studio LP. She didn't come out with live records until later on. It charted number 3 on the UK charts, charted 15 on the Billboard 200 in the US, number 9 in Canada, where Joni's from. Number 9 in Canada, it's called the Top Albums, and it was number 9. It sold platinum. It went platinum, sold platinum in the UK and the US, and also, I believe, went gold in Australia. And interesting enough, in 2020, I'm not sure if that's the most recent poll, but Rolling Stone's top 100 records, albums of all time, Joni Mitchell's Blue landed at number 3. So that's really high up there. And I could see why. It's a beautiful album. It's very personal. It's stark. It's like an unplugged album. And I'll go over the personnel. Joni plays the Appalachian dulcimer on this, which is like a beautiful string instrument that you place, I believe, on your lap, or you could hold it up or whatever. But you could, you've heard that before. He plays a great piano. The piano sounds like an orchestra, basically. I'm going to go over my take on the 4 records that I'm going to do a shootout in against the Blue. Like I said, the Blue's a one-step, so they're pretty pricey. It's a 45 RPM. The Rhino is a 33 RPM, as is obviously the original. Now, this record was released in June 22, 1971 on Reprise, Frank Sinatra's old record label that he sold. It was created, and I'm not sure when the songs were written, but it created in the studio, in A&M Studios, which I believe was probably Herb Alpert Studios, and they had a great studio. So this album sounds great, even though it's a 1971 recording. It is awesome. It's all tube-ish and vibrant, and a nice soundstage. Joni's up front. But I'm going to go into that. So I just want to do some background on the record. So this was created soon after her breakup with Crosby, Stills and Nash's and the Hollies, Graham Nash. They lived together. She did their Crosby, Stills and Nash's cover art. Joni's a prolific painter back then. She still is. And it was during a relationship. It was recorded during a relationship with James Taylor, who's on this record. And I believe after the record was released, James Taylor kind of hit the big time, and that relationship kind of waned. And that's where I'm going to leave it at that. But James Taylor is on a few tracks. Graham Nash is not on a few tracks, understandably. And Stephen Stills is on a track or two, maybe one track or two. So this is the Blue album is supposedly, or I'm sure it's correct, sourced by the original master tapes through a digital master, and then placed onto the one-step process that you could read about in all the one-step bulletins. This did not come with any advertisements or any fold-outs. It just came with that information sheet, the essay, and I think the essay goes into the manufacturing process of Mobile Fidelity's one steps. And again, this record is a short record, and I said 36:12. It's actually 36:15, and just a great record. It's a sad album. It's about love lost, and she pours her heart out. But let me go to the shootout. Is what we came here for. Here's Don's copy, and you could see it has it says stereo here on the Reprise. My copy, which is a later edition, I believe, does not have the stereo. Different Dead Wax does not have the stereo. The cut is about the same, and I give Don's copy, which is with the stereo type in there, a slight edge. But these two OG copies are near mint, so it's really almost indistinguishable. You really have to dig hard. All the records were cleaned before I played them again on a VPI, one of the old 16.9s, I believe, record machine vacuum cleaner with a fluid that I buy, and it's a French fluid. It's has a French name. It's made in France, I believe, and it's mixed with distilled water. I use that. That seems to do the job for me. I don't have a ultrasound yet, so someday we'll get the ultrasound. But just to go over the personnel on this: Stephen Stills, bass and guitar on Carrie; James Taylor, guitar on California, All I Want, A Case of You; Sneaky Pete, metal steel on California, which is really good metal steel, and on Carrie, In a Case of You. It's engineered by Henry Louis. And 1971, recorded A&M Studios, LA, California. And what's interesting about this album is the title, Blue. And as I was reading the lyrics and listening to it, I started to see a pattern. Blue is mentioned in, I would say, the majority of the records, and there's one tune called Blue. The other tunes mention colors like red and green. There's one song about her adopted, the child that she had to give up for adoption, called Little Green, which is a very, very sad song, but so beautifully written. So colors are a theme of this album, and blue is obviously the main theme. It's a very blue, a very sad album. Here's the inner. You get this inner with the one step as well. You get the old jacket like this. But let me just go over my thoughts on it. The original sounded great. Like I said, I give a little bit of an edge to the copy that has stereo on it. I give another little edge to the Rhino. The Rhino is here. And, really a nice jacket. This is near mint. A really nice jacket, and they have a Reprise replica label on it. And I don't know if you know, but you can't hardly see, but the song titles are on the bottom here, so it's hard to see. And this was kind of groundbreaking back then. You didn't have the titles on the record. I'm sure the company didn't like that. They actually printed it, but it's so minute you really have to pull out the jacket from the shelf in the record store and look at it. And that was the problem in record stores, because that meant that the record was going to be handled by a lot more people than would buy it. Usually the records are you just flip them over, you put it back, and you could read the songs and the titles and stuff, but that wasn't the case here. So Joni Mitchell's Blue. So I give a slight edge to the Rhino over the OGs. And just like I said, this is a sparse, almost unplugged record. It reminds me of a Neil Young record. It reminds me of one of the Crosby, Stills and Nash solo records. It's kind of, for me, I compare this concept, this sad concept of love's gone bad, love's lost. Forgotten love. It's all about her experiences. And like I said, the one song, Little Green, is about her daughter that she had to give up for adoption. And it's so poignant and so well written. You have to actually read the lyrics to, I think, understand this record. So first trip when I played my copy, which was the OG, I played the OG, then I played Don's OG, then I did the Rhino, and then I did the Blue Step. And I did these within a few hours, because, like I said, the record is only a little more than a half hour. So it's a very sad record, and I kind of compare it to Dylan's Blood on the Tracks. If you like Dylan's Blood on the Tracks, about his past loves and love's lost and love's gone, no matter. And Dylan maybe didn't differentiate on whose fault these lost loves were, but Joni kind of admits some were hers and some were the guy's or whatever. And interesting note I read, she played this for her friend Chris Christopherson, and Chris said, are you going to tell them everything? Because it was the record is such an outpouring of her intimate feelings, and it's so beautifully done. And like I said, sparse. There's only a few other artists on this record. Joni plays the dulcimer. She plays piano beautifully. The piano just really sounds realistic, even on the originals. The originals, it sounds it's really hard to record a piano, and it just sounds great. The original Reprise on this sounds great, as does the OG. stereo that Don has, and on the Rhino record sounds really good. And as I got through these, I noticed a bit of an improvement. And when I got to the one step, it improved quite a bit, but subtle. If your system isn't the system that can really pick up detail on an audiophile record to the tune of $170, I would say maybe buy the Rhino. I'm not sure what the Rhino is. There's other reissues. I know Joni on her website, she has a reissue of this on either blue vinyl or clear vinyl. I haven't heard that. I'm sure that's from a digital source, but depending on your budget and on your taste, and if this album, and this is an acquired taste as well. Like I said, it's not a feel-good album, although Joni could sing a sad song and make it happy. It's the blues, so blues people could sing sad songs and they sound happy, but in between the lyrics and in between the notes, there's a sadness there. There's a loss there. And that's what Joni's accomplished there. And like I said, this is a classic record. I'm glad One Step chose this record. This is her fourth album. I believe there's 3 other albums in the MoFi pipeline of Joni that they are going to eventually reissue. I'm not certain if it's a one step or if it's just a MoFi double 45, whatever. But it's in the pipeline. So we will get some more Joni Mitchell. And as you know, I talked about this on one of my short videos and a video I did of her collection. Joni just performed Clouds at the 2024 Grammy Awards last week. And she was sitting down. She's in, kind of, elderly at this point, and she does have illnesses. I think she just suffered a stroke not too long ago, but she sounded great. She sat in her chair. She was regally dressed. She looked like a queen on her throne, and she did a really great version of Clouds that was extended. I didn't time it, but it felt like it was over 5 or 6 minutes long. So we were lucky. That was a great Grammy. I didn't do a review on the Grammys, but I thought it was excellent. It was well paced. I got to hear music I normally wouldn't buy or listen to, and I got to see some of my old friends like U2 from the Sphere in Vegas. U2 actually gave an award out, and then we had Billy Joel's first song in maybe over 30 years. Put the lights back on, turn the lights back on, which really, to me, it's going to be his My Way. It's like Sinatra when Sinatra came back and did My Way, because it's kind of an autobiography of Billy Joel if you listen to the words. So that was cool. We got to see Joni Mitchell, and like I said, I got to see a lot of other groups interact. There was some great dances, and I thought it was well paced. The MC did a great job. There was some great guests in the audience. A lot of, the royalty of rock and roll, pop, soul, jazz was there. So that was great. And I think Bon Jovi they gave a shout out to Bon Jovi, who won a Grammy, but he did not appear. And I wish they would have had some more on that. So I have to look that up. But congratulations to Jersey's own Bon Jovi. So in essence, as far as the shootout goes, let's put this here. As far as the shootout goes, I thought it was a subtle improvement with the blue one step. Obviously, the acoustic guitars were more vibrant. Very little percussion, as I stated. Dulcimer sounded great. You could really hear that. It was they didn't touch the MoFi engineers did not screw around with as far as I could tell in my ear. You may hear it differently, but they didn't fool around with the EQ. They didn't fool around with placement. It wasn't a re-imaging. It was just put on the proper vinyl. It was cut to the MoFi one-step standards, which is just a wonderful process which you pay for. You're paying, up to $170 with tax for this 36-minute, 15-second LP. But overall, if you really love this record, you know, go out and get it. If you really love Joni Mitchell and you need this record or you don't have it, it's a nice place to start. But like I said, the Rhino would be a nice place to start. I believe it's an acquired taste, but I really enjoyed this record. I had no problem listening to it almost in its entirety 4 times. You know, I played my copy, I played Don's OG, I played the Don's Rhino, and then I opened this and I played this, and I had no problem. But I would give the edge to the one step, and it should get the edge. The one step should get the edge. So if you like intimate, frank music from the soul, folk music or pop music, at that point, you know, Joni Mitchell was getting, you know, more away from pop, and she got into the jazz. And I love those jazz records and her great album, Miles of Isles, I believe, with that bass player, that jazz bass player that she loves. She's just got so many different artists that came to her. She's such a prolific Canadian songwriter, and we're really lucky to have her here. We're really lucky to have this Blue Step that the people at Mobile Fidelity reissued on the one step. So overall, you know, you can't go wrong. It's an improvement over what I heard on my OGs, and my OGs were in really nice condition. Like I said, they're near mint, excellent to near mint. Don's is near mint. The Rhino was near mint. This. I just played this for the first time on 45. So enjoy it. Let me just hold it up again. Try to get that there. Blue. And let me see if I could think of anything else to talk about. Just great songs. Carrie, which you probably know. Little Green, which I really didn't know about. I didn't read the lyrics until when I did this review. Little Green, like I said, is about giving her daughter up for adoption. My Old Man, I think, is about losing Graham. California is a great song. River, which starts off with a beautiful piano Christmassy tune, because the river takes place around Christmas. The song takes place around Christmas, which is another lost love. A Case of You, The Last Time I Saw Richard, great. Blue, which is the title track. And again, you have Stephen Stills, James Taylor, Sneaky Pete. Oh, and I forgot to add Russ Kunkel. He's on drums on California, Carrie, and A Case of You, but maybe drums with brushes. It's not a beat record. It's a folk record. Joni is right in front. She's playing her guitar. She's playing her piano. The piano is just magnificent. I believe there's more piano on here than you remember. So, you know, listen to it on YouTube before you buy it if you don't have it. But you can't go wrong with the one step, and I don't think you could go wrong with any pressing if you can find a good pressing. So it depends on your collection. Are you going to collect all the one steps? Maybe you're going to collect all the one steps, and that's great. You know, I thought I was going to do that, but then there got to be too many one steps. So good luck, and please like and subscribe. I really appreciate all the subscriptions that I have already. I just did if you go to my channel, I just did a tour of my listening area, my analog gear and my digital gear. It's separate. I have 2 speaker systems, one for each one. One's a 5.1, obviously. Turntable is the stereo. So I did that, and that was on the occasion of 2,000 subs. I just broke 2,000 subs a few days ago. So I want to thank everyone who subs, and you know, please, I love the comments. I always write you back. I've been really, you know, getting a nice you know, repertoire of comments that we go back and forth, and I always comment on other people's VC channels. I enjoy each and every one of the channels. Everybody has something to add. I really love the guys in Europe. I love to hear the Irish accents and the British accents and the Australian accents, and I love the diversity that we have. We have who do rock, we have people who do jazz, we have people who do soul and rhythm and blues, and like me, I love every type of genre, so I'll talk about everything. And most of the channels are, but I just love a lot of the foreign channels, like I said, from the UK, from Ireland, and things like that. So here it is, Joni Mitchell Blue, and go out and get one. It's not bad. You're gonna love it. Thanks a lot. Keep rocking, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, and thanks, Don, for lending us the albums. Talk to you later. Bye bye.